your brand is a reflection of you. You give people a certain experience. So I'm high energy. And so people were used to that in therapy. And for me to move them over so I can go and travel, I needed a therapist with similar energy. It's like going to a restaurant and you go to, you know what I mean? A restaurant in a different city, you expect the same experience. That's really key for retention.
Yes. Hi, I'm Kim Tolson and I'm the traveling therapist. It's my passion to teach therapists how to navigate online private practices and multiple income streams so they can travel the world. I'm a digital nomad with a virtual insurance-based private therapy practice and a multi-six-figure coaching business. I'm obsessed with entrepreneurship and developing tools that can help therapists live an adventurous lifestyle. In this podcast, I will discuss my journey as a digital nomad. I'll chat with other traveling therapists and help you navigate the complexities of running an online insurance-based practice. I'm so glad to have you with me on this journey. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Traveling Therapist Podcast. I'm super excited to have today's guest. I actually met with her recently and we talked about some really cool stuff that we wanted to do together to collaborate. This is an amazing woman. She's got an amazing business going on and she's a traveler. So I want to introduce you guys to her. Her name's Nicole McCance. And Nicole, I would love to just ask the question that I ask everybody when we start out. And that is, how did you go from just being a traditional therapist to a traveling therapist?
Yes. I, like you, wanted the freedom and just wanted to build something that could run without me. So now I'm in tow with my twin boys and my family. We were in Europe for 2 weeks. Before that, we were in Jamaica. So it was just truly amazing. Not just the traveling piece, but for my kids to see the world. They come back
Yes.
different. They're 7 years old
Yes.
and they come back different. It's amazing. Like the
Oh
best
my gosh.
education happens. Yeah.
That's so cool. So 7-year-old twin boys, and you could
Yes.
take them anywhere.
Almost anywhere. Yeah.
Almost anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about yourself because you used to just be you're a psychologist in Canada. Is that right? Am I remembering that? You
Yeah,
were a
yeah.
psychologist in Canada and you figured out a way to pivot and evolve into another sort of career. So I'd love to just
Yes.
talk about like how did you start out as a therapist and then how did that move into what you're doing now? And
Oh my
let's talk
gosh.
about all that. Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that I'm a business coach sitting in front of you and have worked with over 700 therapists across North America is really shocking. I love how life takes us all these places that are unpredictable. I
Yes.
love that part. But let's rewind for a second. I was in solo practice as a psychologist for 15 years. Okay.
Okay.
Loved what I did. EMDR, couples therapy. I knew that I was born to be a therapist without question.
Yes.
I'm on this planet for this reason. But what had
Mhm.
happened, and I wonder if your people relate after 15 years of holding
Yes.
space and pain and all the things, I became tired, but I also became frustrated with hitting the ceiling in my income. The only way I could make money was sitting in front of somebody, my butt in a
Mm.
seat, right? And then 2016, I become pregnant with twins, and I'm like,
Oh
oh
my
my God,
gosh.
how do I do this? My whole life is going to double. We need a bigger house, but I can't work more. And so
Yeah.
that's when I said, okay, well, the only way is to hire. And I wanted to create something that was automated so I can get the freedom. So
Mm.
guess what I did?
Mm.
I
Tell
did
us.
absolutely nothing because there was nobody to guide the way. So fast forward, chubby little babies, Jackson and Lucas are born, and mommy is still working just till 7 p.m. every night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was,
So I can totally relate. So I remember like I was probably, I don't know, early 2000s. Somebody said to me, if you won $1 million, would you stop being a therapist? And I was like, no way, not ever. I love it. I was just like you, like, my clients love me. I think I'm a great therapist. I could do this forever. And then same thing. I was basically seeing like 40 clients a week. I was taking 8 weeks of vacation a year. I was like cramming all my clients in and then taking time off and then coming back and
Mhm.
cramming all my clients in and then taking time off. So I could totally relate to what you're talking about. And it becomes like such a burnout that
Yeah,
you have to find another solution
that's
or
exactly it.
something's gonna break. Yeah,
Exactly. We walk right into a wall. And for me, it's like,
exactly.
when was your rock bottom moment? I vividly remember pulling in and their chubby little faces, these 2-year-olds were squished against the window waiting for mama. And I just felt so much guilt and tears in my eyes like every night. And this particular night, I turned to Dan, my husband, and I said, I'm hiring. I don't know how, but I just am going to do it. But babe, mark my words, I'm creating
Mhm.
something that can run without me because I'm not buying myself a job here. Right. And it
Yes.
was that fateful day that I took the plunge. In 3 years, built it to 55 therapists, multiple 7 figures, and eventually sold
Oh
it
my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is incredible.
with the
Wow.
boys. And I think the boys were the motive. It's funny how we don't always do it for ourselves, but sometimes
Yeah.
we'll do it for somebody else. Like it pushes us, right? Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, same for me. I mean, it's like, it's basically has, for me anyway, it has to be a huge pain point for me to finally say, and that's for everybody, right? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I literally am broken now. I cannot do this. So something's got to give. And then you did it. You took it and ran with it. That's amazing.
Yes.
And
And I'll
oh,
kind
go
of
ahead.
share kind of how I retired because then I
I'd
retired as
love
a
that.
psychologist. So, what
Yeah.
happens is if you build something, which I now teach people to build a group practice, a group therapy
Mhm.
practice that is automated and can run without you, and it's revenue generating, it's just a matter of time before someone wants to buy it. But I was not going to
Yes.
just give it away. Like, this is my baby, this is my
Mm-hmm.
life's work, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it was a psychiatrist that said, I will take better care of your people than you. I can give them all benefits. I can give them all pensions. I can give them all stipends for education. I was like, holy, okay, wow, this conglomerate, I could, walk away and be free, but they're in really good hands. And that's why I did
Yes.
it because it was just the right person. I think that's really
Yeah.
key, not just to throw it
Yes.
to anybody.
And the thing I love is that you figured it out kind of by yourself, like trial and error by fire. Now there are coaches like you that can help guide people through the process. But when you were doing it with two kids, little kids, you figured out,
Yes.
and I mean, you even call it the McCance method now, right? I mean, is that how the McCance method was born?
Yes. So what happened was the day I sold it, picture this. You're no
Okay.
longer a therapist because you signed a non-compete. I will not do therapy. You can have my practice. And I'm sitting there by my pool and I'm like, okay, this is a sweet retired life. But it only lasts, I'm a busy personality. I'm a doer. I want to go for a walk, a hike, all these things,
I get
right?
it.
So
Yeah.
it lasted maybe a couple of hours. And then I was like, what do I do with my life? And then it hit me, wait, what if I give people my map, my marketing plans, my recruitment system? Because it got me very fast to
Mhm.
automated and a very 7 figures that I was like, okay, you know what? I'm still going to help people, but I'll be a coach and I'll only work with therapists and I'll tell them and
Mhm.
give them everything I got, all my systems, processes, contracts, all the things.
I love it. I can relate to you so much because I've built all this stuff. And of course, I mean, I feel like it's everybody's dream to be able to have multiple income streams, but to have them so automated that they're just
Yes.
basically running themselves. And that, I mean, that's been a struggle for me. Honestly, I've hired systems people and now, I'm using AI and a lot of what I'm doing to try to really systemize that stuff a lot better. But it's a dream for people to do that. So you figured out the automation systems and then retired, and you're a lot like me, I guess, where you just can't sit still and you have to be doing something. So
Yes.
you turned it into this product to help other people, and I love that. And my boyfriend asks me all the time, he's like, once you get all this stuff automated, are you just gonna like step out of your business and not do anything? And I'm like, yeah, that's the goal. But I'm kind of like you too. Like I still have this like deep inner like part of my soul that has to be helping people, even if I'm not doing it in therapy, like
Totally.
1-to-one.
Hmm.
But I just feel like I have to always be like giving back to people, like
That
helping.
fulfillment piece for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to share a couple of things, what I did, because I think it's like,
I would love
okay,
that.
how did it grow so fast and not break? That's the other thing. Because typically, when
Yes.
something grows really fast, it breaks because it's not automated. So
Mm.
I teach people how to build the container before they
Okay.
fill the container and grow the container. And that means systemize and standardize everything before you hire. Otherwise, you're not going to be a CEO. You're going to be a CQA, chief question answerer, which is not freedom because you're constantly answering all the
That.
questions. You're more overwhelmed than before. And that's not what we want. So
Mhm.
here's the key. The
Okay.
key is getting everything out of your head. Right now, as somebody listening in solo practice, or maybe they have a group practice, but it's a bit of a mess, it's because they haven't taken every single process that they just do automatically and put it in a Google Drive and then hire an admin, and it's their responsibility to update it. And then you can use AI and all those things as well.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is create and delegate. And if you keep doing that, then you get the freedom. Create it, but train really well and then give it to somebody else.
I love that so much because you're doing the exact opposite of what I do. I'm a quick start. I just have these great ideas that I think are amazing and I just put them out there without any systems in place beforehand, and it
Yes.
causes a lot of problems. It's messy, and then I find myself later having to come back and clean up messes because I was too much of a quick start with it and didn't think about the systems ahead of time. So,
Ooh, let's talk about that for a second. So you're using
yeah,
a
let's talk
term
about
from
it.
the Colby quick start. Okay. So
Yes,
if I can
yes,
go there,
yes.
because I train people in that as well.
I would love that. I'm definitely a quick
Yeah.
start. Help me. No.
Well, I am. So here's the thing. Okay. So guys, if you're wondering what the Colby is, the Colby
Yeah.
is something that I suggest you give people when you hire. Now you have to pay for it. It's about 55 bucks American, but most of us are what's called quick starts. That means we're entrepreneurs. So we love
Mhm.
ideas, we're spontaneous, but we're a little bit all over the place. But
Yeah.
what I suggest is giving somebody the Colby. There's four categories, and hiring the person that is lower in quick start, much lower, higher
Mhm.
in fact finding. They're going to do the research, they're going to put the processes in place. And then it's
Mhm.
beautiful. You're the visionary. Did you ever read the book Rocket Fuel by
No,
Oh my gosh, by Gino Wickman? He
I'm
talks
gonna
about
read it.
how the best companies have what we are, the visionary. They're the ideas people. However, they also need almost like a COO, and this is the implementer. Visionary meets implementer. You just need
I
the
love that.
person to like take the idea, put it in a system, which is what I teach people, and then it runs without you.
Amazing. What are you on the cold? I'm just curious. Are you a quick start or do you also have
I'm
that
a
other
6
component?
in the quick start. Yeah. So I'm not super
Okay.
high, but I'm a tweaker. I love changing things and optimizing, which can be annoying to somebody who doesn't like change. I actually enjoy change. I want to
Hmm.
always be cutting edge and innovative.
Yes. See, I need someone like you and probably half the people listening
Mm.
because I hate the details. I guess as a therapist, I just want to just sit with people and, like you said, be the creative and the visionary
Yes.
and have all the other people around me implement for me. And that's, really the processes I've been trying to put in place forever. So I love that your program has that built in the beginning, especially for people like me that are entrepreneurs and don't even think that stuff through. It's like, okay, I
Yes.
need a I need a private practice and then I want it to be a group practice. So I'm just going to start, instead of thinking
Yes.
about the back end. And it sounds like you have it done for you in the back end
I give
almost.
them the therapist manual. You need an employee handbook. You need a HIPAA handbook. People don't even know that. You need a private health and safety handbook. So I literally give it to them. We have lawyers, HR experts, accountant experts all in the program monthly. So they go
Oh
through
my
this
gosh.
6 months like MBA, where a lot, like literally they come out changed and with a thriving group practice. It's really exciting. It's like my
That's
favorite thing.
amazing. What's the name of your program? Just for people listening?
Yeah, the clinic growth map.
I love
The
that.
clinic growth map.
Yes.
Yes. So it's actually the fastest growing right now. Over 700 people have done it in a 2 year period. I think there was just a
Wow.
major gap. There was a big gap. And I said, okay, I'm just generous. I just want to be generous and say, here, it is done. I know it is proven. Do you want it? If you're the
Mhm.
visionary, stay in your zone of genius. I'll give you the processes and systems.
I love that so much. Yeah. And I'm super excited. Nicole actually invited me to come into her program to do a series. I think it's a 4-part series that we're going to do on how
Mhm.
to use AI to also systemize further to get really good processes in place with gosh, we were going to do an orientation, we're going to do like hiring, how to manage the hiring process
Yes.
using AI. What was the other ones, Nicole? I'm trying to remember the topic.
Marketing. Yeah. Marketing
Marketing,
and
that's a huge one,
systemizing.
and systemizing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So first you want to build that container, okay? Get everything
Yes.
out of your head, put it in a Google Drive. And I love Looms. Just do a quick video, walk
Mm,
them through. This is exactly how I respond to a new client email. So you can take your voice and train your admin to be your mini me. And then let's talk about filling the container. This is the fun part,
Hmm.
guys. This is where the freedom comes. You see, the boring
Yes.
part is the systemizing, let's be honest, which is
Hmm.
why I give people the systems. But
Yeah.
then, oh my gosh, you have a mini me. I suggest your very first hire, or for my group practice people who already have one, your next hire should be your mini me because
Mm.
your brand is a reflection of you. You give people a certain experience. So I'm high energy. And so people were used to that in therapy. And for me to move them over so I can go and travel, I needed a therapist with similar energy. It's like going to a restaurant and you go to, you know what I mean? A restaurant in
Hmm.
a different city, you expect the same experience. That's really key for retention.
Yes. Yes. Running your own practice is hard. That's where Owl Practice swoops in. Owl is a comprehensive HIPAA compliant solution created specifically with mental health providers in mind to help you. Meet with your clients virtually through video therapy, manage client appointments and client records seamlessly, streamline your claims process with Owl's integrated insurance and claim capabilities, and communicate with clients securely through Owl's client portal. Let Owl handle the heavy lifting so you can provide quality care to your clients. Visit owlpractice.com/Kim Tolson to claim a special offer of 50% off your first 6 months. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Yes. So give us some tips on hiring your mini me because I just sure you talk about it in the program, but and you talked about the Kolb and what to look for, but how do you know? Because even myself, I've hired and they haven't really worked out or they haven't lived up to what I'd hoped. And I know
Mhm.
part of that is me not having good systems already in place before I bring them in, but just how do you go about that process, like figuring out who's the best person to be your mini me, basically?
Oh
Like,
my
what do you
gosh.
look for?
There's a whole 6 step process. And I'll
Okay.
walk you through. I think it's like a work marriage. Let's treat it like that. So there's a
Yes.
sticks, you know what I mean? All the processes that we have to go through to actually say, yes, I'll be, you're going to be my work person. I think it has to be the same. So the very
Mm.
first thing I suggest is actually have your admin screen them on the phone. This is
Mm.
going to save you so much time on Zoom. I used to
Love
make the
that.
mistake of just going on Zoom and have you ever had this experience within 30 seconds? I know it's not a good fit. Just their energy, their
Yes.
face, like their facial expressions.
Yeah, it's
And,
like, oh,
and
like
then
you're
it's
deadpan or
awkward.
yeah,
Yes. And then I'm like,
then
oh
it's
gosh, what do I
awkward.
do now? Like it's like a bad date. And so I learned, I want to save people time. So get your admin to get
Yeah.
on the phone and ask them
Yes.
the important questions. Can you work evenings and weekends? Do you live close to the
Mm.
office? Are you good with seeing 15 clients a week, which is my recommendation? Because if you have less than that, by the way, it's hard for people to be retained. If you have somebody working once a week, but little Johnny has soccer's on Wednesdays, I literally can't see that therapist anymore, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So first screen them and
Hmm.
so that's good. Then we give them a personality test. The
Wow.
yes.
Yes.
Then you'll know like okay, then they meet you on Zoom. I give you an interview protocol for that. Related to mini me, for me, it was energy. It was
Mm. Hmm.
directness. We also give them a working interview because here's the thing. People aren't honest in interviews. They could say they're great, but I want to see them. And
Hmm.
I role play. I teach my members this to literally role play a very hard scenario, and I'm the client. And let's see how you handle that. And if I'm
Yes.
not impressed, we always say, don't hire unless they're a hell yeah. I want you to
Hmm.
leave that Zoom hoping, oh my gosh, I hope they want to work with me. Be that impressed. And I think if you go
Yes.
through all of that, then it's typically the right person. All those hoops.
I love that. Yes. And then, of course, training them correctly. Yeah.
And then it's a
Which has
whole
been
all
my
the training.
downfall too, because I'm so scattered. That's been a downfall for me too. Not giving enough training, I think. But yeah.
For sure. And I think that a lot of entrepreneurs, you're pulled in a lot of places. So
Hmm.
training is really key. Because if you think about it, think of I'm training my kids to ride a bike. So, I mean, life would be amazing if we could just put them on the bike and wave and say, good luck to you. Call me if you need me. But it's not like if we're not
Yeah.
saying like hold on to the handlebars, pedal, 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 look both ways, it's usually I always ask, is it a leader problem, a people problem, or a systems problem? It's usually a
Love that.
system. There's a system missing, which is the training
Hmm.
piece.
Yes. Oh, I love that so much. Yeah, such good advice. I mean, because I know there's tons of people listening that probably want to take the leap to a group practice and they're not even sure because these little details get in the way, and keep
It
people
feels
from taking that
overwhelming.
step.
And that's why I didn't do it
Exactly.
for 2 years. This is our reputation. I'm like, oh gosh, what if it's the wrong person? That's why it's a
Yes.
6 step process. Like you need to be in love
Hmm.
with this person by the end of those 6 steps or don't hire them.
Yeah, I love that so much. That's great. I need your list.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm trying to think what else to ask you about this. For somebody listening, so does your program basically set them up to be able to sell it at the end? Is that how that works? If they want to, does it
Yes.
then say, okay, now it's perfect, and here's how you go and sell this thing if you want to do that now?
Yeah, so I give them what's called a content hub, which they have lifetime access to. So first we systemize, then we
Okay.
hire, and then I help them grow it with all the marketing, digital marketing, all these concepts they haven't heard of or thought of. A lot of people aren't doing, which is awesome. It's kind of top secret for a lot of the members, but really good. It's funny, a lot of them don't, they want it to run without them and feed them, but not be there. Make sense? Like they want
Yeah,
it to be
yeah,
revenue generating.
yeah.
And for me, I didn't really think I'd ever want to sell. So I would say 10% come in saying, like, I'm building to sell, but most
Okay.
say, I'm building to have freedom, free time, and it to feed me for the rest of my life.
Yes. Amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, to have it done for you, like basically system that you just like put all the pieces in place and then to be able to have that part of it where you're not in your business, but like on the outside, just watching it run like a little machine. I mean, that's the
Yes.
dream for any business for group practices or what I'm doing or what you're doing, even with your program. That's the dream, I
Now, can we
think.
talk about, though, how you keep a culture when you're living in Costa Rica? Thank
I'd
God
love
for
that.
the pandemic shifted everything for us. I did all my supervision. I actually preferred Zoom because it
Hmm.
was so half people were like not there that day. They were virtual. So you can do supervision on Zoom. You can lead
Hmm.
your team meetings on Zoom. And I will tell you, research now tells us you don't have to be there in person to have a good culture. What matters is psychological safety and for them to know that you care. And so who
Hmm.
you are, like they're just going to feel that, like, I care about you guys. I'm going to help you find your dreams within my group practice. If you can help them grow and have thriving mini practices within your group practice, why will they ever leave?
Yes. Oh, I love that so much. Yes, absolutely. Because I mean, I can't even tell you how many consults I've had with potential traveling therapists that say that very thing. I can't leave. I can't leave my clients. I can't leave my employees.
Yes.
I can't leave my parents, my family, all of that stuff. There's
Right.
so many like beliefs around that you have to be there physically. Even in today's culture, I mean, it was really terrible, obviously before COVID, but after even still, when we're all doing Zoom meetings pretty much there was still that mindset that you have to be there, you have to be available if needed, that kind of thing. But this is like, I mean, literally, you could be anywhere, anytime, and hop right on if you had to.
Exactly. And some of my people they do have bricks and mortar, but they don't live in that state, or it's purely virtual. And most of them are in network, but move to private pay. We have a little mantra: private pay is the way. We always sing it. It's so cute. Private pay is the way. So I was private pay, and private pay
Yeah.
equals freedom. Although there's some people
Mhm.
that stay in network, and that's okay too.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess when you were in your practice, that was in Canada, and I don't even really know how the insurance system works there, but definitely here in the United States,
It's very
even though
complex.
I run a billing program, my advice is that too. It's like if you are going to be an insurance provider, make sure you're on panels that pay well and are easy to get paid from and all of that. And,
Mhm.
out of network billing, definitely if you want to be private pay, like figuring out how to offer that too to help your clients if they want to use their insurance still. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that private pay is the way.
Yes. We
That's
all know
really
it
funny.
is. Way less headache.
That's great. Yeah, definitely. So how do you run it right now with this business? Do you have like do you work like 4 hours a week and travel? Like how do you manage it all just for people listening to hear how
Yeah.
somebody actually does this?
I have a team of 15 in the McCance
Wow.
method. And I think that if we're also a multi seven figure business, that happened
Wow.
really, really quickly. If you want a big business, you kind of need a big team because it's either how is that possible for you to be away and all the things happen? And we're a little obsessed with client success. So I just needed all the people, all the accountability coaches, success coaches, things like that. But
Yeah.
it's funny, rather than taking a full day off, I'm the type of person, I have my energy in the morning. So
Mhm.
I'm off every day at 2. You'll see me on Instagram. I'm always walking on the lake, talking, giving strategies. And then I jump in my pool, and Fridays are off at the cottage. So that's kind of my perfect life. Because I do love working. I'm just one of those people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I don't love working after 2. So that's the
Uh-huh.
life I've created, or Fridays.
Yep. I
Yeah,
love that so much. And that's a lot of what we talk about on this podcast too is one, how can you get another income stream that's going to support you with your traveling lifestyle? With me, I'm just down to Wednesdays pretty much is when I'm doing most of my stuff. And then I have all the other days to travel and, squeeze an appointment in there here or there. But I don't like to work after probably 2 either, usually because I want to go out and explore
exactly.
whatever place we've gotten to, because it's like we might be somewhere for a week and there's tons of things we want to do there. So I definitely
Yeah.
created my lifestyle, and then tried to build, my businesses around my lifestyle so I can like really live that fulfilling lifestyle instead of the other way around where my business kind of dictates what I can do and can't do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One thing about that, if anyone is considering 2 things, building a practice, one, it does not have to be 55 therapists. I help people figure out like what is your freedom formula. So
Mm,
maybe it's 2 therapists for you to say, I don't need to work, I can cover my travel, whatever it is, or I can cut down half my clients or all my clients. I think that's really key. So you can be small, but also know that I love what you said. I'm going to underline it. Know the life you want to create and build your practice around that, because what will happen is the opposite. And then you're like,
yep.
ah, shoot, now what? Now I'm
Yeah, you're
stuck.
trapped.
Yeah.
Trapped again. Yeah, trapped again. And,
Yes.
yeah, a prisoner to what you've created. I mean, I felt like that for a long time I basically have 15 different income streams and they were running me, really. I was not able to sort of dictate how I wanted to live my life, really. So hiring people to help me put better systems in place and using AI and learning about SOPs and how to train better, like all of that came with time. And now I have this real freedom,
Mm.
where right now I'm sitting at my dad's house helping him with medical issues and I'm able to do that and be present mostly. I told Nicole
Amazing.
before we hit record, I was like, I might get interrupted by my dad, but if I do, we'll edit it out. So
Amazing.
being able to just live that life and be able to be flexible and do what you need to do or want to do, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that truly the best therapist? Like, sadly, I think that our profession brainwashes us, that we can't make good money or that we have to be a certain way. But I believe I want to be the therapist that is living my best life and inspiring my clients and not having the shame around, oh no, I can only charge this much, or I have to like see these many clients.
Yes. And even culturally, I would think running a group practice as the leader of the group practice or the owner of the group practice to be able to exemplify that lifestyle of putting your needs first and then building around that, being able to have that sort of culture. I don't know if you teach that in your program. You probably do.
Step
You
one.
know,
Yeah.
flexible schedules, like you said, keeping your staff happy and, well nourished, so to speak,
Mhm.
soul nourished with this type of like lifestyle. They want to even live this type of lifestyle. And, it starts with you. If you're not doing it, how are you going to have that trickle down effect with the culture inside of your own group practice or inside of your own business? So
You got it.
yeah, absolutely. I love this program that you built.
Yay. Me
It's
too.
amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
Every day we
amazing.
get like life-changing things. It's so fun. I've been away for a month. We always say check if it floats. So like put it in water and then
Oh,
slowly let go and
yes.
like, does it float? Does it float? Oh my gosh, it does.
I love that. Yeah. I've actually never heard it put that way. That's really good. So you took a whole month and just like literally walked away and just let it run
Well,
itself?
and my
That
members do
terrifies me.
all the time. You know what I do is I say, try half a day. Go to the beach for half a day. So don't just be
Nice.
like, you know what I mean? See ya. But it's like, and then what's amazing is if there's a leak, you catch it in that half a day. Then you fix it. Take a whole day. Okay, now take a week. So we work up to it. You are right. Because that would not be
I
great if
love
you're
that.
like, peace.
I could never do it, but hearing that's a really smart way to do it. Like and then fix it as it breaks. And then hopefully you've got everything fixed and
And it's
everything's running
systemized and
smoothly.
standardized. And people feel safe. Like therapists,
Ah,
like any human beings, they like predictability. I would always get compliments. Thank you so much. Your onboarding was so easy. My friend down the road at the group practice, it's a mess and she's so anxious already because it's a lot, like new everything, right? But if
yeah.
you could make that standardized, not only it's not just your life that's easier, it's actually theirs too.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love it. Yeah. Well, so how do people work with you? They want to come and learn from you and take your program and all that stuff. How does that
Yes,
go?
I have a free masterclass every single week.
You
Come
do?
and be with me
Okay.
live. Yes, it is called How to Build a Seven-Figure Group Practice, where I walk them through my proprietary five-step scaling method. Lots of freebies for showing up live. You guys will love it. I'll give you the link for your show notes.
Perfect.
And I have a podcast. So if you guys love
Yeah.
podcasts, which you probably do, the Business Savvy Therapist, I'll also give you that link.
I love that. I've got it saved to binge it. I'm going to be driving to Florida soon, and I that's one of my plans is to binge your podcast.
Oh,
So
so
thanks for
good.
sharing that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. And to anybody listening, we'll definitely put all this in the show notes and you can reach out to Nicole. And what's your Instagram? I love your Instagram. You've got
Oh,
great
thank
little reels on there.
you. Yes,
Yeah.
Nicole.McCance method. Yeah, I'm always giving away freebies and I'm obsessed just with talking about just the things that nobody else is talking about. Because when you differentiate, then you become the busiest therapist in town.
Oh, I love that. What a catchphrase. That's fantastic. Well, thank you, Nicole, for being here. I really
It was a real
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to the Traveling Therapist podcast. For show notes, links, and downloads, head over to thetravelingtherapist.com, where you'll be able to learn more about my journey, the courses I've created for you, and other exciting resources to make your dreams become a reality. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share with your traveling therapist friends, subscribe to the podcast, and if you loved this episode, please leave a review.